Weekend day. We're continuing our talk on mastering your self-image. This is called the positive use of imagination. Our thoughts, habits, even our abilities must be those of the person we believe ourselves to be. We can set new limits in place of old ones, but we can't surpass the limits of our current self-image. There's a story about a Wisconsin farmer who was walking through his fields one day when he stumbled over a little glass jug in the pumpkin patch. Out of curiosity, he poked the young pumpkin through the neck of the jug, being careful not to break the vine. Then he placed his little experiment back on the ground and walked away. When harvest time came, the farmer was working his way down a row of big ripe pumpkins when he again came upon the glass jug. But this time it looked different. Picking it up, he discovered that the young pumpkin he'd poked inside now completely filled its glass prison. Having no more room, it had stopped growing. The farmer broke the jug and held in his hand a runt pumpkin, less than half the size of all the other pumpkins and exactly the shape of the jug. Well, people aren't pumpkins, but our self-image is something like that jug. It determines the size and kind of person we become. The similarity ends with the fact that we can remove our self-imposed limitations by enlarging our self-image. We form a mental picture of ourselves through experience, and we can change that picture the same way, through experience. If the actual experience we need is not available to us, we can, according to self-image psychology, create that experience synthetically. Now, scientists agree that the human nervous system is incapable of distinguishing between an actual experience and the same experience imagined vividly and in complete detail. Worry is a good example of this synthetic experience. When a person worries about something, he projects himself mentally, emotionally, even physically into a situation that hasn't even occurred. The man who worries intensely about failure finds himself experiencing the same reactions that accompany actual failure. Feelings of anxiety, inadequacy, and humiliation, and eventually headaches and an upset stomach. As far as his mind and body are concerned, he has failed. And if he worries about it long enough, if he concentrates on failure intensely enough, he will upset himself to the extent that he will fail and he'll get sick. Now, everything can be used in either of two ways, positively or negatively, constructively or destructively. Worry is the negative use of creative imagination. It's a negative synthetic experience. But most people apparently never realize that positive results, just as real as the negative results of worry, can be achieved through using our imagination constructively. The man who worries about failure is unwittingly defeating himself. He is feeding his mind the wrong data. If he spent the same amount of time visualizing success as he spends in thinking about failure, he could reverse the process of synthetic experience. Instead of anxiety, he can develop confidence, self-assurance, and poise, and a feeling of well-being would replace apprehension. By concentrating on the success he desires, by synthetically experiencing that success, he can expand his self-image into that of a person for whom success is normal, expected. Why not practice holding the self-image of the person you most want to become? This is the person you can become. Use your spare moments to concentrate on your goals and the greater success you seek. Analyze your past successes and formulate ways your success can be increased in the future. Put more into the positive use of your imagination than you ever put into its negative use, worry. You're merely reversing the same creative process. Now it's working for you instead of against you. Nobody pokes us into the glass prisons beyond which we can't grow, but all too often, almost unknowingly, we set unnecessary limits for ourselves by holding a self-image that's restricted, inadequate for the full realization of our potentialities. Each of us is at this moment the product of all his thoughts and experiences and environment up to this point. Through thought, we can control to an almost unbelievable degree both our experience and our environment from here on. Whether or not we choose to direct our own course through life is entirely up to us. The important thing is to know that it can be done. So this gets into that, discussion of using your imagination to start creating a inner reality, a reality that we're only thinking about, but like he says here, we don't know the difference between what's actual and what's factual, what's actual and what's imagined. So the reality here is that you might as well just choose who you want to be and start, taking some time out of your day to actually think about, what you want to be and imagine that, experience it. What would it feel like? What things would you be experiencing in the life of the person that you really want to be? So always know that, if your body doesn't know the difference between, what's actual and what you're imagining, use your imagination to be creative and start creating by design the life, the person you want to be, and start experiencing it. It says here right at the end, the important thing is to know that it can be done. So whether you believe this or not, it can be done. It means that it is possible, and, it got to start with your belief. You have to change your belief, start believing that your thoughts matter, and you are the only one that creates the reality that you choose. So, you can stop blaming circumstances. You can stop blaming, you're hard done by, things don't work in your favor. You're not lucky. The truth of the matter is it's because you're putting your energy into those thoughts and creating that reality in your life. Learn how to change that. Take responsibility for your life and for those that you love and those that you care for, and do what's possible in your life, which is, living it as grand and as ideal as you possibly can, and so start taking responsibility for what you want in your life and go after it. Okay. Have an amazing weekend, everyone. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care. Bye.